Hello friends, welcome to video lecture on dynamics of machinery. In the today's lecture, we'll discuss about numericals on Hartnell governor. So let us start the problem on Hartnell governor. In a spring-loaded Hartnell type governor, the extreme radii of rotation of the balls are 80 mm and 120 mm. The ball arm and the sleeve arm of the bell crank lever are equal in length. The mass of each ball is 2 kg. If the speeds at the two extreme positions are 400 and 420 rpm, find first point the initial compression of the central spring, second point the spring constant. Now read this problem carefully and see what is the given data. So in this case the extreme radii of rotations with us, that is R1 and R2 is given. Okay, so in the next sentence the ball arm and the sleeve arm of the bell crank lever are equal in the length. Means here you can write this in this way: ball arm equals to sleeve arm, that is x equals to y. In the next sentence the mass of each ball is given 2 kg. So value of small m with us 2 kg. Then next one, if the speeds at the two extreme positions are 400 and 420 rpm, so value of n1 and n2 with us. So get the corresponding value of omega 1 and omega 2 by using this relation 2 pi n1 divided by 60 and 2 pi n2 divided by 60. So here we can get the value for this omega 1 by substituting the value of n1 here. Okay, you can get 41.89 radian per second. Similarly, we can get the value for omega 2 in this way by using this relation 2 pi n2 divided by 60 equals to 2 pi multiplied by, just replace this n2 by 420, okay, divided by 60 equals to 43.98 radian per second. Now the two extreme positions are given in case of Hartnell governor. Means you have to first of all develop the diagram by considering the minimum position as well as maximum position. So in this case, if you look towards this diagram drawn here, okay, so length of this arm, okay, and this one is given same. Okay, so this is the minimum position, means here corresponding to minimum radius of rotation we have drawn this diagram. Similarly, this diagram drawn here by considering the maximum position. Our ultimate target is to do calculation for the initial compression of the central spring and spring constant. So get the value of centrifugal force at minimum speed as well as the centrifugal force at the maximum speed. So in this you can get FC1 relation with us. FC1 equals to m, this one R1 omega 1 square. The value for the radius of rotation is R1 with us 0.08. Okay, then next one, the value for the omega 1 with us 41.89. okay, so do the calculation with respect to this FC1, we can get 280.76 Newton. Similarly, get the value for the centrifugal force at the maximum speed. Okay, so FC2 equals to m R2 omega 2 square. Okay, so R2 with us, omega 2 with us, substitute here and do the calculation. So you can get the value for this FC2 as 464.22 Newton. Now consider S1 and S2 equals to spring force at minimum and maximum speed respectively. Now consider the minimum position and maximum position, take the moment so that as per our ultimate aim get the value of S1 S2. okay, for that just focus on the minimum position and take moment of all the forces about this pivot point or about this O point. So this force is here, centrifugal force with us. So what's about this one? This is nothing but the weight of the ball. Okay, so you have to take the moment of this also about this point. So what's about this one? This is nothing but the spring force and the weight of a sleeve. Okay, so in this way you have to take the moment of this force, this force, this force about this point. Okay, so in this problem the obliquity effect is not given, so you have to neglect the moment because of the weight of this fly ball, and so whatever this length with us x and y. Okay, so in this case x equals to y is given, so if you neglect the obliquity effect, ultimately you can get x equals to x1 and y equals to y1. Considering the minimum position, you can get the relation by taking moment of all the forces. Intentionally here all the forces written, okay, so that which forces to be neglected and which forces to be considered, this point clear to you. Okay, so fc1 multiplied by x1 minus, why the minus sign is given? Depends upon the direction of the moment. Okay, here the positive sign is given when the anti-clockwise rotation of that force will come, and negative sign will consider here for the clockwise movement of that force. Okay, so fc1 multiplied by x1 minus mg multiplied by, so what's about this one? Once again look towards the diagram. So here fc, this turns about this point in anti-clockwise direction, so fc1 multiplied by this vertical distance with us x1. Okay, next one you have to take the moment of this mg force about this one, means you need this one, this distance. Okay, perpendicular distance between this force and this one, this is the distance with us. That's why the r, this one, this distance with us minus this distance. Okay, this distance will remain. Okay, so when we take the moment of this mg about this point, okay, this turns about this point in clockwise direction. Okay, in this way, so minus mg multiply by this distance with us r minus r1. So what's about this one? This also turns about this point in clockwise direction. So what's about this horizontal distance or distance between this one, line of action of this force and this one with us y1. So mg plus s1 divided by 2 multiply by y1 should be there. And for equilibrium, just equate all the forces, summation of all the forces equals to 0. Now here we are just neglecting the obliquity effect of the arms. That is, here we can get x1 equals to x2 equals to x, and y1 equals to y2 equals to y, as well as the length of both arms is given equal, that is x equals to y, and moment due to the weight of the ball is also neglected. So here in this case we can get fc1. Okay, this term will remain as it is, fc1 multiplied by x. You have to replace this x1 by x equals to, what's about this one? You have to neglect this one, moment because of the weight of the ball. So next one, mg plus s1 by 2 multiplied by, so what's about this one? Y will remain. In this case the central load, the mass for the sleeve is not given, so consider here m equals to 0. Now in the next step we have fc multiplied by x will remain as it is equals to mg. This term now becomes 0, so s1 divided by 2 multiplied by the y will remain here. So if you substitute the value of fc1 here, what do we get here? fc1, so here x equals to y is given, means if you write this one y, x divided by y, means ultimately you can get this x by y equals to 1. Okay, so after simplifying, what do we get here? We can get the value for this s1 equals to 280.76. okay, this is about the fc1 multiplied by 2, this term 2 will come here, so we can get the value for this S1. Already the calculations for this FC1 done by us. So we know this one. FC1 is nothing but the 280.86, okay, Newton. So after simplifying, what we get? S1 equals to 561.52 Newton. So similarly, we consider the maximum position like this, and if you take the moment of all the forces, this force, this force, this force, about this point, so in this case also you have to neglect the obliquity effect, okay, means here we'll consider x equals to x2, y equals to y2, and moment because of this weight of the ball should be neglected, okay. So see the equation. So in this way I can get the relation by taking the moment of all the forces about point O, okay, FC2 multiplied by x plus mg into r2 minus r minus mg plus s2 divided by 2 multiplied by y. The full equation intentionally written here, okay, and in this case see the information given, length of arm, both arm is equal, and neglecting moment due to the ball weight as well as the load on the sleeve is given m equals to 0. Now the equation will changes like this one. FC2 multiplied by this x will remains as it is, okay. Next one, this term you have to neglect it, okay. So next one, mg, this m value with us 0, then s divided by 2 multiplied by y, this term will remains as it is. Now in this case we know the FC2, just substitute here FC2, okay. So x divided by this y will comes here, okay. So s2 by 2 equals to FC2 multiplied by x divided by y, this relation with us. So in this case x equals to y, means here we can get the value for this one as 1. To get the value for s2 is nothing but 464.22 multiplied by 2. So we can get the value for s2 equals to 928.44 Newton. Now the lift of the sleeve. So during the discussion of Hartnell-Governor analysis, we have seen the height of the governor is nothing but r2 minus r1 into y divided by x. This relation already I have seen. So from this relation, what we get? From this relation you can get the lift of the sleeve. So radius of rotation, maximum radius of the rotation with us 120, minimum radius of the rotation with us 80 mm. So y divided by x, okay, can get here 1. So after simplification we can get the lift of the sleeve equals to 40 mm. So the stiffness of the spring is nothing but S2 minus S1. So what's about this one? S2 indicate, S2 is nothing but the spring force corresponding to maximum radius of rotation, and S1 indicate the spring force corresponding to minimum radius of rotation. So substitute the value for this S2, S1 and H here, okay, like this one. Simplify it and we can get the stiffness of the spring in this way, 9.173 Newton per mm. So we know that the initial compression of the spring is nothing but, so what's about this one? This is nothing but the spring force corresponding to minimum radius of rotation. Okay, value with us 561.52, the spring stiffness with us 9.173. So you can get the initial compression of the spring 61.21 mm. So the spring constant is nothing but whatever the spring stiffness already we get here, okay. So this is the answer for the next point. Spring constant equals to S equals to 9.173 Newton per mm. So let's start the next numerical. A spring loaded governor of the Hartnell type has arms of equal length. The masses rotate in a circle of 130 mm diameter when the sleeve is in the mid position and the ball arms are vertical. The equilibrium speed for this position is 450 rpm. Neglecting friction, the maximum sleeve moment is to be 25 mm and the maximum variation of speed taking in account the friction to be 5% of the mid position speed, the mass of the sleeve is 4 kilogram and the friction may be considered equivalent to 30 Newton at the sleeve. The power of the governor must be sufficient to overcome the friction by 1% change of the speed either way at the mid position. Determine neglecting obliquity effect of arms. First point, the value of each rotating mass. The spring stiffness is in Newton per mm square. Third point, the initial compression of the spring. So as per data given in the problem, okay, so arms are equal length, means in this case x equals to y, okay, is given. Instead of giving the radius, the diameter is given, okay. The masses rotates in the circle of 130 mm diameter when the sleeve is in the mid position and the balls are vertical. The equilibrium speed for this position is also given. So here just note down one by one data given. So here the diameter is given 130 mm, so you can get the corresponding radius as 65 mm. Convert this into meter, okay, in this way 0.065 meter, okay. So next one, the equilibrium speed for the mid position with us 450 rpm. So get the corresponding value of omega equals to 2 pi n divided by 60, okay. So 2 pi n with us 450, just substitute here, divided by 60, do the calculation, we can get omega equals to 47.124 radian per second. The next one, the maximum moment is to be 25 mm and the maximum variation of the speed taking into account the friction to be 5% of the mid position, okay. So in this case, next information with us, the height of the governor with us 25 mm, then mass of the sleeve is also given. The mass of the sleeve is 4 kilogram, okay, and the friction may be considered equivalent to 30 Newton at the sleeve, okay. This information with us. So here mass of the sleeve with us 4 kilogram, then the friction value with us 30 Newton, and our target is to do calculation for the first one, mass of the rotating fly ball, okay, in kilogram. The next one is nothing but spring stiffness and initial compression of the spring. So as per data with us, first of all develop this diagram like this one. So mid position is given, okay, this is the mid position diagram drawn for that Hartnell governor. So what's about this one, centrifugal force, okay, that will act in outward direction, the weight of this ball acts in downward direction. So what's about this one, the mass weight of the sleeve with us along with the spring force with us, okay. So here the other notations shown here, radius of rotation, okay. So in this case the mid position is shown, means radius of rotation r and this r1 becomes same, so x indicate the length for this fly ball arm or ball arm, okay. So what's about this one, sleeve arm with us here. So similarly for the maximum position you can develop the a diagram, okay, like this one. Now our first target is to do calculation for the mass for each rotating fly ball, okay. So for that let us consider the small m is nothing but the value of each rotating mass in kilogram. So S indicates the spring force on the sleeve at the mid position in Newton. Here the change of the speed at the mid position to overcome the friction is 1% either way, it is plus minus 1% given. So mean speed at the mid position is nothing but omega 1. So minimum speed at the mid position is nothing but here omega 1 equals to, so plus minus 1% is given, means mean speed you can get omega 1 equals to omega minus 0.01 into omega. So by doing the further simplification, we can get 0.99 multiplied by the value for the omega with us 47.124. okay, simplify this one, can get omega 1 equals to 46.653 radian per second. Now at same position, that is at the mid position, get the maximum equilibrium speed. So what's about the value for that? Omega 2 equals to, so here the corresponding to minimum position we have considered the minus sign, and for the maximum position we have considered the plus sign. So by substituting the value of omega, you can get the omega 2 equals to 47.60 radian per second. So what's about the centrifugal force at the minimum speed? We know the relation Fc1 equals to m into omega 1 square into r. Substitute the value for this one. So our target is to do calculation for this mass. We know the value for omega 1. We know the value for the radius. Okay, substitute here and get the value for this Fc1 in terms of mass. So the value for the Fc1 with us in terms of mass 141.473 m, okay, Newton, and the centrifugal force at the maximum speed is nothing but Fc2 equals to m into omega 2 square multiplied by this one r. So this r corresponding to mid position, the value for the r will not changes, that will remain as it is. That's why the 0.065 is taken for the minimum position as well as maximum position. The same value is considered. So after simplification, we can get the value for this Fc2 equals to 147.274 m Newton. Okay, so we know that for the minimum speed at the mid position, so taking the moment of all the forces about point O by considering the minimum position, so Fc1 multiplied by x minus mg plus s, okay, minus f divided by 2 multiplied by y. So why this minus sign is given for this one? Corresponding to the minimum speed. Okay, so the negative sign should be given for this one, and for the maximum, corresponding to the maximum speed, you have to just consider this one plus sign. So this relation is developed by considering the mid position, okay, like this one. So you have to take the moment of this force, okay, about this point. You have to take the moment of this force about this point by considering this one, this distances, okay. So relation you can get like this, okay. So Fc1 multiplied by x, take this term towards the right side. We know the value for this one, mass of the sleeve with us 4 kilogram. Just substitute the value for this one, g 9.81 plus, what's about this one? Instead of writing here s1, we are just developing this equation corresponding to mid position. That's why just consider only this one s as spring force, okay. So minus f means here 30 with us, friction value f is given 30, okay, just write it here. So divided by 2, this one x and y. So in this case also length for both the arm is given equal. So x divided by y, okay, the value will comes 1. So in this way we can get the relation for this s1, this one s equals to 282 point, just simplify this one, just simplify this, okay. X divided by y means here 1, here 141.473 in terms of mass, okay, value for this Fc1 with us. So next one, only the unknown values are replaced by the calculation done by us earlier, okay. So you can get this relation in terms of s in this way, s equals to 282.946 m minus 9.24, okay, give equation 1 for this one. Similarly, corresponding to the maximum speed at the mid position, taking moment of all the forces about the same point. So you have to consider the same diagram corresponding to this mid position by considering the maximum speed. Okay, you have to write, or you have to take the moment of this force, okay, about this point. So relation developed like this one: fc2 multiplied by x minus, okay, mg plus s. The change will occur here corresponding to maximum speed at the mid position. The plus sign should be given for this one. Okay, so divided by 2 multiplied by y term will come here. Okay, so fc2 value already with us. Okay, just substitute the fc2 value. The 2 will comes here. Okay, so 2 multiplied by the fc2 value, okay, in terms of mass, multiply by this x term will remain as it is. Just take this term towards the left side. Okay, x divided by y. Okay, this term will remain here. So again you can get the next relation in terms of mass and this one spring force. So this s equals to 294.548 m minus 69.24. Now focus on the equation number 1 and equation number 2. Simplify and get the value for this one mass. Okay, just equate. So left side of both the equation is this one with us in terms of yes. Okay, just equate the right sides and simplify this one. We can get the value for the mass for the fly ball is nothing but 5.17 kilogram. So our next target is to do calculation for the spring stiffness in Newton per mm. For that, let us consider S is nothing but the spring stiffness in Newton per mm. Just don't confuse in this notation used here. Okay, this S is nothing but the small s, and the previous one we have used for the spring force. Okay, that is the different one. So here since the maximum variation of the speed considering the friction is plus minus 5% of the mid position speed. Okay, this information given in the problem. So according to that, the minimum speed considering the friction, let us consider this one as omega 1 dash is nothing but omega minus 0.05 omega. Can develop this relation like this one: 0.95 omega. 0.95 omega already with us. Just substitute here and get the value for omega 1 dash, that is 44.77 radian per second. Then get the maximum speed corresponding to a friction, that is omega 2 dash is nothing but here 5% is added in the mid position speed. Okay, so in the previous case that is subtracted, here in this case added. So omega 2 dash equals to omega plus 0.05 omega. So in this way you can get 1.05 omega. Substitute the value for omega here. Okay, so omega 2 dash is nothing but 49.48 radian per second. Now we know that the minimum radius of rotation considering the friction. Okay, so this relation already we know, r1 equals to r minus this one h into x divided by h1. Okay, this one, if we consider the minimum radius of rotation. Okay, so earlier we are discussing about the mid position, and here the minimum radius of the rotation, okay, we are considered to get the next details. So here r1 equals to r minus h1 into x divided by y. So what's about this h1? So this h1 is nothing but, so total displacement of that sleeve with us h. So h1 is nothing but the half of that h. Okay, so here if you look to the diagram, so in this case this indicate here h2. Okay, h2 is here. So when the displacement of this one takes place towards the inner side or towards the spindle axis like this one, the changes of the arm will changes its position towards the, okay, spindle axis side, and this will move in a downward direction. Okay, like this one. So here we can get h1 value. Okay, this distance indicate the h1, this distance indicate the h2. So total distance, this one from this spot up to here, okay, if the displacement, okay, this one arm takes place in downward direction. So this distance with us h, and that value is given in the problem. So what's about this one? This indicates the h2. As the value for this one, x equals to y, in this case h1 must be equals to h by 2. So from this relation, what we get here? Radius of rotation, this one with us, they substitute here 0.065 minus, so what's about this one? 25 mm lift of that sleeve is given, so 25 or 0.025 divided by 2, and just replace this h1 by this term, okay. So x divided by y, you can get 1 like this one. Simplify this, you can get the r1 equals to 0.0525 meter, okay. So corresponding to maximum radius of rotation, by considering the friction, we can get the relation like this one, r2 equals to r plus h2 into x divided by y. So r already with us, substitute here h2 as per our earlier discussion. Here the length of both the arm is equal, so h2 must be equals to half of that lift of the governor is given. So here 0.025 with us divided by 2, okay. That is the value for this one h2. We can get the r2 equals to 0.0775 meter. So we are doing the calculations for that r1 and r2 to get the value for this one centrifugal force, okay. So fc1 we know m into r1 into omega 1 dash square, okay. Substitute the value for the mass, well already calculation done by us for that mass, then r1, then this omega 1 dash, substitute all the values and get the value for this centrifugal force corresponding to the minimum speed, okay. So the value with us 544.031. Similarly, get the value for centrifugal force corresponding to the maximum speed. So omega 2 dash, already this calculation done by substitute here, substitute the value for r2, substitute the value for the mass here. So you can get fc2 equals to 980.96 Newton. Now let us consider s1 and s2 is nothing but the spring force at minimum speed and the maximum speed respectively, considering the friction. We know that for the minimum speed considering the friction, so why we are doing this calculation? To get the value for the stiffness, okay. For that we need the value for s1 and s2, okay. S1 is nothing but the spring force, okay, corresponding to the minimum speed, and s2 is nothing but the s2 is nothing but the spring force corresponding to the maximum radius of rotation, okay. For that let us consider the minimum position and take the moment of all the forces, okay. So what we get here, s1 plus mg minus f. For the minimum position you have to just subtract this one divided by 2 equals to, so this is about the force. If you multiply by this term by y, okay, this is nothing but the moment of that force about the pivot point, okay. So equals to fc1 dash or fc1 multiply by the x will remains here, okay. Now what's about the next one? Next one, just do the simplification by substituting the value for this mass, then this one is nothing but the frictional force, okay. Just substitute the value for this one, substitute the value for fc1 dash, okay. So fc1 dash and this one is nothing but the centrifugal force corresponding to the minimum speed and maximum speed, okay. Just substitute here and get the value for the spring force, okay, in this way. Then correspond to the maximum speed by considering the friction. Just develop this relation, s2 plus mg plus f divided by 2 equals to fc2 dash multiply by x divided by y will come here, okay. After, just look towards the diagram how this equation comes. So once again you have to use the same diagram. So here by considering the minimum position, okay, when we consider the minimum position, this arm will changes its position, this arm will changes its position, okay, and you have to take the moment of this FC1 about this point. Similarly, this mg plus s1 by 2, and by considering the friction, you have to take the moment of this forces about this point. Similarly, by considering the maximum position, see this force with us, this force with us, we take the moment of this force and this force about this point by considering the friction also. So in case of minimum position, you have to consider the minus sign for the frictional force, and here you have to consider the plus sign in case of the maximum position. Corresponding to the maximum speed and minimum speed, we can get the value for this S1 and S2 in this way. So S1 with us 1078.822 Newton and S2 with us 81892.68 Newton. So what's about the spring stiffness? Spring stiffness is nothing but the difference between the spring force corresponding to the maximum speed and minimum speed. Okay, so S2 minus S1 divided by H. So what's about this one? If you just convert this one once again into mm, okay, you can get like this one, 1892.68 minus 1078.822 divided by 0.0525 multiply by 10 raised to 3. Okay, so already this one given in 20, this one in mm. So you can get the value for this one spring force like this one, S equals to 32.554 Newton per mm. So initial compression of the spring can be calculated like this one, S1 divided by S. S1 indicate here the spring force corresponding to minimum speed. So that with us 1078.822 divided by the spring constant with us 32.554. So after simplification, you can get 32.14 mm. In previous all cases, we have neglected the obliquity effect. Okay. Now see the numerical by considering the obliquity effect. Let us say in a spring-loaded governor of the Hartnell type, the mass of each ball is 5 kg and the lift of the sleeve is 50 mm. The speed at which the governor begins to float is 240 rpm, and at this speed the radius of the ball is 110 mm. The mean working speed of the governor is 20 times the range of the speed when the friction is neglected. Okay, if the length of the ball and roller arm of the bell crank lever are 120 mm and 100 mm respectively, and if the distance between the center of the pivot of the bell crank lever and the axis of the governor spindle is 140 mm, determine the initial compression of the spring taking into account the obliquity of arms. If the friction is equivalent to a force of 30 Newton at the sleeve, find the total alteration in the speed before the sleeve begins to move from the mid position. So first of all, write down the given data. Here the mass of the ball with us 5 kg, then value for the lift of the sleeve is with us 50 mm, convert this into meter, then n1 with us 240 rpm, convert this into radian per second. Okay, like this one, 2 pi n divided by 60, so 25.14 radian per second with us. Then minimum radius of rotation with us 110 mm. Next one, value for the x is given, that is length of the ball arm with us 120 mm, 0.12 meter. Okay, then next one, sleeve arm, okay, with us y equals to 100 mm is given. Just convert this into meter, so we can get 0.1 meter. So next one, the radius of the rotation So mid position radius with us r equals to 140 mm. Okay, this one, the value for the friction with us, frictional force with us, F equals to 30 Newton. Our target is to find the initial compression of the spring taking into account the obliquity of the arm. Second point, find the total alteration in speed before the sleeve begins to move from its mid position. Okay, as per our first target, to do calculation for the initial compression of the spring taking into account the obliquity of the arm. First of all, develop the maximum position and minimum position diagrams. Okay, like this one. So everything here just mention by considering the ball here, arms. Okay, then just move towards this point given. First of all, let us find out the maximum speed of the maximum speed of rotation omega 2 in radian per second. We know that the mean working speed, so in this problem the mean working speed can be calculated like this one, omega equals to omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2. So range of the speed neglecting the friction with us omega 2 minus omega 1. Since the mean working speed is 20 times the range of the speed, okay, this information important one. Okay, this information with us omega equals to 20 times the range of the speed. Range of the speed with us omega 2 minus omega 1. So mean speed with us here omega 1 plus omega 2 by 2. So from this relation, first of all, get the value, just write the value for this one omega 1 here. Our target is to get the value for this one omega 2. So keep this omega 2 as it is, divided by 2 equals to 20 multiplied by omega 2 minus this omega 1. Omega 1 with us 25.14. So simplify this one, we can get omega 2 equals to 26.43 radian per second. So both the positions given in figure number A and in figure number 2. So in this case our aim is to find out the value for the radius of rotation. So let us consider R2 is nothing but the maximum radius of rotation. We know for that the lift of the sleeve is nothing but H equals to R2 minus R1 into X divided by Y divided by X. Okay, so in this case this one, the value for the X with us, Y with us, just substitute here the value for R1 with us, this one H with us, substitute all the values and get the corresponding this one radius of rotation. Okay, that is R2. Now get the value for the centrifugal force at the minimum speed as well as at the maximum speed. So FC1 with us M multiplied by omega 1 square into R1. So we know the value for the omega 1, substitute here. We know the value for the omega 2, substitute here. R1 with us, R2 with us. To get the value for FC1 and FC2. The next one, by considering the obliquity of the arms. So corresponding to, if you consider this one obliquity of arm, so we need the value for this one A1 and A2 as well as X1, Y1. So get the value for this one X1, this one Y1 from this triangle. Okay, this triangle, this actually a triangle form here. Okay, this triangle is formed here. Similarly, this triangle is formed here. Okay, so from this one, try to get the value for this one X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Okay, here we can get A1 equals to R minus R1. After putting the value of R and R1, we can get the A1 equals to 0.03 meter. Similarly, X1 from the triangle form, you can get the square root of X square minus A1 square. So substitute the value of X here, A1 here, and get the value for X1 as 0.1162 meter. Similarly, Y1 equals to square root of Y1 square, Y square minus H1 square. Substitute the value for Y here, then H1 here, and get the value for y1 equals to 0.0986 meter. Okay, so in this case also the h1 is nothing but the half of the total height, okay, or sleeve lift. You can get that 0.025 meter. Similarly, corresponding to the maximum position, so get the value for this one, a2, in this way r2 minus r. So r2 with us, this r with us, okay, just substitute here and get the value for this a2 as 0.03 meter. Now in the next case, the length of this one x2 and x1 will remains the same. Okay, so y2 and this one y1 remains the same. This is the value for this one, a2 and a1 are same. Here this a2 and this a1 is same, so x2 must be equals to x1 and y2 must be equals to y1. You can get this one details already with us, okay, in this way. Now by taking the moment of all the forces by considering the minimum position, okay, just take the moment of all the forces about O point and get the relation. Okay, many times we have seen this relation in earlier problems too. Okay, so mg plus s1 by 2 multiplied by y1, okay, equals to fc1 multiplied by s1 x1 minus mg multiplied by a1. So whatever the information with us, now try to substitute the value for this one. Since the mass for the sleeve is not given, so don't consider the mass for the sleeve. Okay, just consider that one as 0. So in this case s1 by 2 multiply by, so what's about this one, the y1 with us, y1 0.0986 with us, just substitute here. Next one fc1 value with us, just substitute here. x1 with us, substitute here, minus mg, this one minus mg means here 5 with us, g with us, and a1 with us. Just substitute all these values and get the value for s1. Similarly, corresponding to the maximum position by taking the moment of all the forces about the O point, just look towards the diagram. Here you have to take the moment of this force, and this force about this point. Okay, so in this way you can get the relation mg plus s2 divided by 2 multiplied by y2 equals to fc2 multiplied by x2 plus mg multiplied by a2. Just substitute all the known values and get the value for this one, s2. So we know that the stiffness of the spring is nothing but difference in the spring force corresponding to maximum and minimum position. Just substitute the value of s2, s1 and h and get the value for this one, stiffness of the spring. The stiffness of the spring with us this one 13.04 Newton per mm. So initial compression of the spring is nothing but s1 divided by s. So what's about this s1 with us, 804 divided by 13.04. So we can get the initial compression of the spring 61.66 mm. Our next target is to do the calculations for total alternation in a speed when the friction is taken into account. So for that we know that the spring force for the mid position is nothing but s equals to s1 plus h1 into s. Substitute the value of s1 here, h1 here, okay, multiply by this actually term with us to get the value for this one s corresponding to the mid position. So 1130 Newton with us. So here once again h1 is nothing but the half of the total lift of that governor. Okay, so mean angular speed is nothing but omega equals to omega 1 plus omega 2 divided by 2. So omega 1 with us, omega 2 with us, get the value for the omega as 25.785 radian per second. So here similarly get the value for this one in terms of revolutions per minute. So omega multiplied by 60 divided by 2 pi, we can get the value of n is nothing but 246.2 rpm. Therefore the speed when the sleeve begins to move downwards from the mid position, that is n dash equals to n into square root of s minus f divided by this one s. Substitute the value for this one, n, s, f and s. So this s indicate the spring force, so 1130 minus what's about this f? F is nothing but the frictional force 30 here, and this one spring force with us corresponding to mid position 1130. So get the value for this one, n dash. Similarly, the speed when the wave begins to move upward from the mid position, that is n double dash is nothing but n into square root of s plus f divided by s. Okay, so the value of this one, n as 246.2, s as 1130, f as 30 and this s as once again 1130, and get the n double dash as 249 rpm. So alternation in speed is nothing but the difference between this one n double dash and n, so we can get this one as 6 rpm. So in today's lecture, concept regarding the Hartnell governor, I think clear to you. In the next lecture, we'll discuss about some extra numericals by considering the performance characteristics of governor. Thank you.